Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Myth-Busting Locksmith. Now, today I would like to dispel a myth that I discovered very early on in my locksmith career. When I first started, I looked at every YouTube video I could possibly find. I looked at other videos on the internet. I spoke to as many people as I possibly could in regards to picking locks, bumping locks, bypassing locks, and so on. And one of the things that I saw all over the internet very early was people using supposedly electric toothbrushes to pick locks. These are electric toothbrushes, this is an electric pick. Now, they came along, and I have tried about 5 different types of this, and they came along with their toothbrush, they pulled the end off, they filed this down or put little indents in it, and they put, of course, the metal in the lock, and they press a button, and hey presto, the lock opened. Well, I would like to say, what an absolute load of old rubbish. It's a myth. It's a pointless exercise. I don't know why it gets so many hits, but it's rubbish. This is an electric pick. This is an electric toothbrush. So looking at these to start with, you can see the difference in size. If I take the head off, you can see the difference between the size of the blade here, so I'll put my hand there for you, and the size of the blade here. Now, what I did early on was I spent too much money on about 4 of these, and admittedly they did have longer blades than this particular one, but I filed them down into a flatter edge. I put indents in one of them, just like one of these, so I'll put that like that for you. So they look similar, and I had a flat one, I had a dimple one, and I had little shapes on another one. And I found it was an absolute load of rubbish. Now, if you listen to this one, very, very quiet, and all it is doing this inside to make this spin round. It's designed to do the toothbrush part like this, and it is effective as a toothbrush, not as a pick. If you look at this on the other hand and listen to the noise, very, very loud, completely different. And if you look at the blade movement, if I can show you against a black t-shirt to start with, you can see that there's an awful lot of movement in that. It is completely different. I've tried the hand picks that look like a small gun with a blade, where you push it like this and the blade jumps up and down like this, and I found them absolutely useless. Didn't work at all, didn't get anywhere. Slow repetition, fast repetition, absolute nonsense. I dissected it for parts and the rest went in the bin. This I have been very successful with on a lot of Euro cylinders, basic locks and standard locks, maybe a couple of padlocks, but I just wanted to bust the myth today that toothbrushes cannot be made into electric lockpicks. As I say, I tried creating blades like this and none of them worked because there simply isn't the vibration or the movement. This blade oscillates like this, very fast and very hard, and you can vary the depth to tiny to much wider, and the speed. It is a very effective bit of kit. It's quite expensive. It is great. These, on the other hand, are toothbrushes, and they are an absolute waste of time. If you're trying to make an electric pick out of them, they don't work, and I relish people coming back to me and saying, oh, I've done it and it does work. They don't. It's not designed the same, it doesn't vibrate the same, the movement is nowhere near, however you design the blade. So there we are, there is a myth busted. Now, if you're also interested, do come back for part 2, because about 2 years ago I put an article on the LinkedIn asking the airports and airport security to address me directly on a major security issue I had found with electric toothbrushes and hand luggage. But that's coming in part 2, so if you'd like to return to part 2, please do, and we will discuss this further. But for now, that is part 1, it is finished. Busting the myth, you cannot make an electric pick out of an electric toothbrush. You have to get an electric pick. And I would like to say this one is beautifully made from Southord. It is a very good pick, and it is well worth the money. So thank you for watching, and please do join me in part 2 to see what we're talking about in regards to these and airport security. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.